everybody. It's me, Donald Schultz, live from the Plaid Hat Warehouse to talk about our new game available for pre-order right now, Familiar Tales, a story crafting game. Familiar Tales is a game by Jerry Hawthorne. It's a deck-building adventure game where you're playing through the storybook. You're doing all sorts of fun, crazy things. And we're going to talk about it today. And if we manage to sell at least one copy before the end of this, I don't lose my job.
And I'm Colby.
Colby, he's the man who'll fire me by the end of this. If you have any questions in the chat, lock and load them. We're wanting to make sure that you understand what's going on here with Familiar Tales, that you're excited about it, that you're engaged. Right off the bat, I got to say, Colby Dauk, Familiar Tales.
Mm-hmm.
You say it's a story crafting game. What's that?
Well, a story crafting game takes place in a storybook here, and you are crafting the story. So you're making decisions that are going to guide the story. And then also, you have these items that you can craft. You're crafting how your deck works. Each familiar has a deck of cards that kind of determines how good they are at different things, gives them special abilities, stuff like that. And that deck changes as you play by adding new cards to it.
That sounds confusing. Is there anything that can help me learn to play this game?
Yeah, this game has an app that goes with it.
An app? Ooh, am I at TGI Fridays? I love apps.
Yeah, this game comes with mozzarella sticks.
Hell yeah.
But also, it comes with you can go to the website, familiartalesgame.com. I don't think you can go there right now. You will be able to go there at some point. And it'll call up an app for the game in your web browser. You can also download it from there to a Mac or PC.
You can have it on your phone, your computer. It's in the browser.
Right. Yeah, it runs right in the browser. Anything that has a web browser on it can run this app.
A Nintendo Wii?
Nintendo Wii, you can run it.
In the Opera browser?
Yeah, it'll do it.
Guaranteed.
It might be some stanky jank there, but it'll show up.
So it'll help teach me the game?
Yeah, it's got tools that'll help teach you the game. It's not so much a guided, like, do this first and do that first, and you're relying on the app to learn the rules. All the rules are in the rule book. But the app, when it uses a term, you could click on that term and learn exactly what that term means if you've forgotten
or you're
unsure.
Stop and reference things.
Right. If you have a question, you can search the rule book plus an FAQ that we'll build over time that'll make it very easy to find the answer to the question you're asking.
That's great.
There'll be little question mark help icons in different places to give you more information, more context. There will be little how to play teaching examples as you encounter a rule for the first time that you can load up right in the app.
Cool.
So the app doesn't require you learn the rules from it. It just has a lot of tools to help remind you what the rules are.
God, shut up. Let me talk. So what does a turn look like in this game? What are we doing? Is this I see there's spaces.
Mm-hmm.
I see their miniatures.
Mm-hmm.
Is this a tactical war game?
No.
Okay. What is it?
Well,
what do I do?
This game is basically evolved from like the dungeon crawler genre.
All right.
So it's an adventure game. You have dudes. They're going to move about a map. There'll be bad guys that show up. You'll fight them. You'll be able to search for stuff. Like the resources you need to craft the different items. There are these little book encounters where those can mean anything. You just type that code into the app, and if something's going to unfold that has to do with this page, that space, and all those can lead to all sorts of effects. They can lead to choices you need to make, and then you're doing actions like training to improve your deck. You're doing actions like crafting to craft new items for your character. And then a big one is you have a care action that you're using to help care for this baby that is your charge.
Right, because that's the premise of the game, right? We're familiars that live with a kind old wizard. There's a mysterious knock at the door in the middle of the night. The wizard runs to the door, and it's a lady. She's mysterious, and she's got a baby, and she says, "Please, the bad guys are after me. Take this baby and run." And you realize, oh my gosh, this is the queen. The wizard gives it to his familiars, and he says, "Take this baby. Take it to safety." And you are raising this baby, right?
So yeah, I mean, the game takes place over 3 eras. In the first era, you're basically just trying to get this baby to safety, alive and healthy. It'll poop in its diaper. It needs food.
All your favorite things.
It needs comfort.
Feed babies, change diapers.
Yes. Yeah. You need to soothe it. If it gets angry enough, mysterious stuff starts to happen. So we find out there's something going on with this baby that's revealed throughout the story. And then, era 2, you've been hiding out for a while, and now the baby has become a young child.
Like 5 or 6, right?
Yep. And there is a mysterious thing that's happened that you're trying to go in and rescue this character that's important to you, and you find out more about the story then. And then in the 3rd era, Millie has grown into Millie being who the baby is, grows into like a young adult, a teenager, and is coming into her own, and actually encounters, faces head on, takes the offensive on the evil person, the evil counselor that's taken over the throne.
And the decisions you make in the game reflect what kind of person Millie grows up to be. So if you're a cold-blooded, murderous sociopath, then she will grow up to be sort of darker and a little more rash than if you raise her to be a kind, gentle, thoughtful person. Just like real parenting.
Just like real life. There's also this more misfortune dial, just like in real life. So the more bad things that happen to Millie, this isn't a win or lose situation. You're not having to jump back to the start of a chapter and replay parts of the story. Instead, there's this misfortune dial. So the better you do, the lower your misfortune is going to be. And the higher your misfortune gets, kind of bad things are happening to Millie, and that's going to have an effect on her as she grows up.
Yeah. So it's also a deck building game, right?
That's right.
So what's card play look like in this bad boy?
So the core mechanism in this game revolves around something called skill tests. So all the different things you can do in the game are testing one of 4 different skills.
Let me see if I remember.
So
might.
The red one there is might.
This is a speed.
That is agility.
Agility. This is perseverance.
That's resilience.
Resilience. This is focus.
That's insight.
Okay. So say those again.
Might is the red rune there. Agility is the green rune there. Resilience is the blue rune. And insight is the yellow rune. So each thing you do will test one of those skills, and you will play cards into that test and total up the value, and then you roll this chance die that goes from a +2 to a -2 and has some special results. And if your total is equal to or higher than the difficulty of the skill test, which is, each test always has the skill type you're testing and its difficulty number. So like that's the basic core mechanism. Am I meeting this?
Yeah.
But then on top of that, these cards can combo into different things. Each one has something that happens when it's played, and you can really build your deck to do a lot of different things like you expect from a deck builder style game.
And I could have assist cards that let me help you on your turn, but then I have one less card in my hand because you also need your cards for defense. So lots of interesting decisions with not a ton of like mechanical complication. Each of these cards just kind of has like a few icons that you're looking for to kind of tell you what you can do with it.
Yeah, and one of the interesting things about the assist and the link icon is, yes, you use it to help other players, but there's also a really robust solo mode in this game. And the link icon there lets you draw another card. And so you can build these, cyclical badass decks that you know are really fun to do in deck builders
Yeah.
for you and nobody else at the table.
Right. Yeah, I do this, and then I do this, and then I do this. Yeah.
But in the solo mode, you're taking advantage of, you only have one deck to work with instead of 4 different people or whatever.
Min-max.
So you really have to build a clever deck, and it rewards those kinds of deck builds.
I really appreciate
danger symbol.
the danger symbol.
Yeah, somebody thought it looked like a tooth on there.
Oh yeah, well the dice has this here danger symbol. It looks like a mean old.
You got to hold it up right next to your beard, so that Joe can get a close up of it.
It's not pointed. This is the danger. Oh, there's 2 danger symbols. It's a D12.
There's
which
3 danger
It's in
symbols.
my beard. It's a D12, which I really appreciate because that's the most fun dice to roll.
It's been proven by science.
Science did a study. Mr. Science, Anthony Fauci himself, did a study and found that the D12 was the most fun to roll. I'm really excited about that because some game companies, I don't want to name names, put D6s in their games. A little embarrassing.
Okay, that's enough of Donald.
Pat does D12s. So Colby, I see that there's a book on this thing. I don't like to read. Is there something that you can do to help me?
Yeah, you don't have to read in this game.
Yeah.
So one of the things that we did with Forgotten Waters and are doing again here is we have a full voice cast of actors that perform the narratives in this game.
Professional actors. We're talking Christopher R. Sabat, voice of Vegeta and Piccolo in Dragon Ball, voice of All Might in friggin' My Hero Academia. We're talking about Elizabeth Maxwell from friggin' Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. She was Lady Urbosa and the little girl Urbosa. She's also in Camp. She's in so many things. You've heard her voice everywhere. We're talking about Inaris Quinones, okay? We're talking about Inaris, and we're talking about Justin McElroy, who's a podcaster. You guys know who he is, probably.
He was in Trolls.
He was in Trolls
too.
We've got an amazing cast of voice actors in this thing. I did the audio for this and Forgotten Waters, and Forgotten Waters happened during COVID and was a rush and full of technical difficulties. This time, we're really getting a chance to craft each entry to the fullest degree. So the audio that you're going to hear in this game, if you thought the audio in Forgotten Waters was good, this is great. This is going to be...
Forgotten Waters, Donald was a contractor for us. Donald's an audio engineer, and we brought him on full time. So he's got his full attention on this project. So it's going to have not only the voice acting, the sound effects and sound design, but there's whole musical scores to this, original musical scores that change depending on what you're doing.
Right, like when it's Gribbert's turn, the music might sound one way, and then when it moves to Blaze's turn, the music suddenly shifts. It's very cool stuff. We're really excited.
Or if you're facing a very dangerous situation, a very dangerous enemy, the music will shift to do that. If you're sneaking, the music will shift and to a more sneaky feeling theme.
People want to see like a little bit of gameplay. Like if it was your turn, what would you do?
Okay, so we have all of our familiars on here, and each familiar has a deck of cards. And I should pull out the app for this.
Get those mozzarella sticks out.
Y'all hungry?
For channel points in the chat, mozzarella sticks or potato skins? Let us know what you think while Colby pulls up this app.
So here's the app, okay? The app is actually telling me whose turn it is. It's Blaze's turn right now. So...
Well, put that app up again. Let Joe get it.
And
Get in tight on that, Joe.
This is going to be...
That's good.
Yeah.
Okay.
You see there at the top how it tells me that it's Blaze's turn?
Look at that little fox.
So Blaze has a hand of cards here. And on my turn, I have a hand of 5 cards to start the game. I really should shuffle these a little.
What a moron.
Also, at the start of this, during setup, it had us build an encounter of 2 unsavory. So we put those on the little enemy entry space. And I'll draw my 5 cards for Blaze. And then what do I want to do with Blaze? Okay, well, first, let's see what this book is all about. So I play a card to move. So now I'm looking down at this move value down here. That lets me move. That's 2 move points. I only need 1 because I'm only crossing 1 dashed line. So the other move point will be wasted. I don't have any cards that just have 1 move point. Also, when I play a card, I do its icon effect. So this little icon effect here means that I can gain a fatigue into my discard pile, which is just kind of a dud card, not great. So it'll slow me down in the future, but right now it lets me draw another card.
That card's called Reckless, so you know this game's thematic. He did a reckless thing, and he drew a fatigue.
And then I'll go ahead and move my character, the 1 space that I wanted to move her. And then I've got the book 102 here. And so that just means to enter 102 into the app. And we have an entry here with story. There will be the ability to hit play and hear the full voice cast. As you're playing, you're getting the music, you're getting the soundscape, and then the voice cast just meshes right into that. So I would read this bit of story. I don't want to spoil anything. And then at the end, it tells me to gain 1 power. So I've got this character dial here. The dial has 2 different dials on it. The life dial, how many times Blaze can take damage, and the power dial. Power is going to be used to train, and that's how training is how I get more cards into my deck. So I'll take that 1 power, and then I discard the card I played. Then I will go ahead and let's say I have a melee weapon, so I can do melee attacks. I need to get into the space with the enemies to do a melee attack against them. So that's going to require that I move 1, 2, 3. You can see there's 2 dashed lines in a row here.
Yeah, I don't know if they can see that at home, but yeah, there's a double dotted line.
Yeah, we can see it.
Oh, cool.
So I'll move her. I'll play this card, which gives me 3 move here. It has this fox symbol. The last card I played had an exclamation point under it, whereas this one, you're gonna have to zoom in to see that. So whenever there's an exclamation point under the icon effect, that means it's just gonna always trigger when you play it. If it has this little rectangle, card-shaped icon, that means that this power might be on one of your item cards. So when you're building your deck, which icons you put in versus what cards you craft can all make these things combo off of each other. This has a little fox symbol. So I look at my cards and I can see that I have a card that when I am attacking, if I play a card with a fox symbol, I get to do this effect here. So I can trigger that. Now I played that to move, not to attack. So it doesn't do anything because it says it triggers if I play that and I'm attacking. My current item says that. So I will go ahead and move my 3 and then discard the card I played. Now I'm going to perform a melee attack action. To do that, I need to test might for melee attack. If I were doing a ranged attack, because I had a ranged weapon equipped, then I would do an agility, but we're doing a might here. So first I'll play assist. And assist is going to give me 2 might, plus it has that link. That means I could have played that on another player's turn in the multiplayer game. Then I will play focus. Focus has the reroll symbol on it. That means when I go to roll the chance die at the end of this test, if I don't like the result, I can reroll it. Then I will play graceful.
Do you want me to assist you?
Yeah, if you've got an assist card, I would sure appreciate it.
I have 2 assists. Would that be overboard?
No, play them.
So
Let's do it.
Blaze is really good at might checks. Gribber is really good at agility checks. So my assist cards are not as good at helping Blaze with a melee attack as they would be a ranged attack.
Right. Yeah. When Gerbert shows up to help, he's better if he's helping with agility.
But by playing these, I'm adding 2 to his
to my total. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The total that I have to get over, the difficulty number for this test, is equal to the enemy's defense value. And you can see here on the book, the Unsavory have a little stat block here, and their defense is 5. Each one of these should also, when we generated that encounter, they get a little life marker on there. So currently, square base has 4 life, and the circle base has 5 life. I'm going to target the square base with this attack. 2, 4, 6, and then I get to roll the die. So I'm at a 6 total, and we'll see what the die does for me.
-1.
Got a -1, so I'm at 5 total. Thanks for the assist. 5 meets or beats the difficulty number, the defense value. So I do my weapons damage. Vicious Bite deals 1 damage. It's a starting equipment, so not very powerful.
Show that again.
Come on, Joe. Gotta zoom faster.
Show the damage symbol.
The damage symbol is right above the all the ability text. And it just shows 1 and then the little damage symbol. So I do 1 damage to a square base there. I have 1 card left. I'm going to choose not to play it and just end my turn there.
So then,
that was all the action phase. So I can do as many actions as I wanted. I can continue doing actions now, but a lot of the actions require I play cards. I've only got 1 card left.
so then at the end of your turn, you're going to go to the app and say, my turn's over, right?
Well, first I go to the draw phase and draw back up to a hand of 5.
Okay.
And then I'll hit end turn in the app. And so in the app here, right where it tells me whose turn it is, if I hit end turn, you can see that it's added 1 to this danger track down here. That danger symbol we showed on the die, that can add danger. There are cards like fatigue that can add danger. Danger, the more danger there is, the more chances that something bad's going to happen when I hit end turn. Since I didn't have any, nothing bad happened, and it's showing me that it's Chalk's turn.
Awesome. And danger kind of represents like that would be like the kind of the what would normally in a game like this be kind of the fiddly part of the game, but the app just handles it for us, and every turn it goes up and it checks it for you.
Yeah, it's doing some rolls, so to speak, in the background to see the odds that something bad's going to happen. When there's enemy on the board, that's almost always means the enemies are going to get a turn.
And then, on Gribbert's turn, he could move and hit him with his tongue for a ranged attack. Flicker can cast spells. Chalk could bash people. He's also, you got to carry the baby.
Yeah, there's a little baby token around here someplace. Yeah. Any familiar can carry the baby, but Chalk isn't slowed down by it because he's a big old muscle boy. Muscle it.
Yeah.
He's a rock golem.
It is a rock golem.
It is a rock golem. And then you could search for resources, which will help you craft stuff. Food is always valuable because the baby becomes hungry sometimes, and you can solve that and lower discontent by feeding the baby. The first page here is really pretty basic because the idea is that we're trying to ease you into the rules, not introduce too many of them at once. Our goal on this page, which was also at the top of the app, it tells us that our goal on the page is to get all the familiars and the baby to the exit space. And then if any enemies are in play when we leave. So here in the exit space, and this is with a lot of spaces, throughout the book. If you have a symbol here and you don't necessarily know what it means, look over here. Usually it's got a section. So the A exit has a section over here. This section tells us what to do. At the end of any familiar's turn, instead of hitting end turn in the app, if all the familiars are here, you can enter 133 in the app to leave the location.
Yeah, your eyes are almost always going to be on the game or on each other in this. You're not going to be digging in the rule book to refer to symbols and stuff like that.
Right. You're being directed by the app. You're being directed by the book.
Make sure you mention the campaign journal.
Yep.
And
So I'm going to go ahead. We're going to say all of our familiars are there. We left while there were still enemies in play, and that told us to put misfortune up by 1, and to enter and to, instead of hitting end turn, to enter 133 in the app. So I do that, and now the app is telling me. So during setup, we filled this in and went to 101. That's how we got our start story. This entry is telling me to follow the travel map up to the bridge over Silverling Space and fill that in. And then it's telling me, do I want to continue or to put the game away? After every page, I can choose to put the game away, and it's going to walk me through 4 steps on how to pack everything up and have it ready to go for when you come back.
Yeah, we've got custom tuck boxes for all the different characters. So when you build your deck, you can keep your progress and all your cool items and stuff in there.
Yeah, your progress, your deck builds, your items, they all carry over from game to game, chapter to chapter throughout the campaign.
And as I play through the different acts, new cards and stuff become available too.
Yeah, when we get into Era 2, there'll be new, more powerful cards that you can get, both items and the skill cards. So I could always choose to put the game away, and that means play sessions can be 20, 30 minutes if you're playing, maybe as a family and you just want a quick game in, and or if you're perhaps playing with children and they have lower attention spans and you just want to get the little 20, 30 minutes at a time.
Yeah, and that example turn, like Colby's explaining everything and he's very nervous and sweaty. P.U. Colby. But the turns can go pretty quick in this game, and a page can go by pretty quick. So you're not necessarily, a lot of times in this sort of game, I'll feel sort of like chained to the game, which kind of stops it from hitting the table, but that's not the case with Familiar Tales.
Right. This page is only going to take you like 10 minutes to get through because it's really a simple page. You can see that there's almost no instructional text or anything.
And as we're playing through, we can also craft, also on this page, you'll see there's Storycraft cards and Bond cards. And those can also be, I don't know if we should put this next to here maybe, but these can be unlocked that will sort of represent moments where you're bonding with the baby or each other, sort of little side scenes and stuff. I've heard the audio on all those, and they're really good stuff. It's really intriguing.
So yeah, your familiar will develop as a character. Its relationship with Millie will develop right alongside that main storyline.
You're not just going through and murking people left and right. There's some heart.
So if I hit continue here, I get some story, and then it says, together as a group, decide what you will do. Attempt to lure the guards off the bridge or follow the silver ring upstream. So I have a choice here, and depending on what I do, you can see that there's a split here. Depending on what I do, I'm either going to go to this or this. And that now it tells me to perform an insight skill test with Flicker. So the player playing Flicker will perform an insight skill test difficulty 7. And depending on whether she passes or fails, that's going to affect what happens in the story.
There's all these branching paths and different sort of like routes that you can sort of take through this story.
So some of these bubbles are just story moments and choices, and other bubbles are pages in the location book. And then this sheet here encompasses Era 1, and then there's an Era 2 sheet. In Era 1, you can see we have a big chunk of land here that we're traveling across, trying to get up here to Domenholt. In 2, it's more zoomed in. This is all the action takes place within a single city.
It's more of an urban
in
adventure,
Domenholt.
yeah.
And then there's an Era 3.
Spoilers.
So these bubbles you can see chapter 2 is here. Anytime you come back, you enter in the code for the top bubble. So like I was saying, if we save the game and come back, we'd enter in 105 and it would just pick up there. If you come back at the start of a chapter, like if you play all the way through and get to the end of chapter 1, the last thing it'll have you do is fill in this chapter 2 start bubble. And when I come back to at the beginning of a chapter, the game will ask me if I want to recap the story so far. So a typical play session would be to play through an entire chapter. If you were playing, with a group of adults, you had an hour and a half, 2 hours, 2.5 hours, right in that range to spend. You can play all the way through a chapter. And then when you come back, even if it's a month later, and you kind of forgotten where you're at in the story, the app's going to, last time on.
Previously on Familiar Tales.
Exactly.
Yeah. Are there any questions from the audience at home?
They were asking about the age.
Oh, ages for the game?
Yeah, what did we put on the back of that box? Right here, 8+.
1 to 4 players.
So I wouldn't recommend you get a group of 4 8-year-olds and just hand them this box.
No.
This is more like you're an adult playing with your 8+ kids.
This is a good game to bust out to play with your nieces and nephews or your children of a certain age. Maybe not the best game to, just give to a bunch of kids at a slumber party who don't play board games and go, have fun with this, and walk out of the room.
Right. We're saying 8+ is enough to manage your character, your familiar. You'll still want, an adult there helping with the finer points of the rules.
Although, when I was 8 or 9, I could play some heavier games. So once they learned, maybe they could.
Donald's really smart. Are your kids really smart? Find out. Play Familiar Tales with him.
So if you pre-order now, you will get this organizer, and I'll get to keep my job. This organizer is called the Forager's Market, right?
Something like that.
Yeah, and it's full of, this helps you keep all your tokens straight in the game. You don't want little nasty piles of cardboard on your table. You want this beautiful marketplace with.
So these are all the possible resources, and that you need for crafting. There's a money resource that you might use to buy stuff when you get to the city.
Closes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Look at this.
Shut.
Look at this
Yeah.
functionality.
Bam.
Keep everything in place when
And
you
it
pack the
fits.
game away.
In the box like this too. It's really cool.
Trust us. It's just cardboard, but it's pretty neat.
Listen, I'm easily entertained.
That's our company motto.
Right.
It's just trust us. It's just cardboard, but it's pretty neat.
With these resources, we can craft new weapons and armor and consumables as well.
Yeah, so say I gathered the food and mushroom here, I could craft this scone of heroes. At the bottom, it shows a little food symbol and a mushroom symbol.
Gone of heroes.
I'll discard those and get this yummy scone or scone, if you will,
I will.
to eat. And can when I use it, I get a little special ability there. Maybe I want to upgrade Gerbert's weapon, or I want to make Blaze have some more range, or be able to swap her weapons around to pull out range when she needs it. I might craft this with a cloth and a cloth, this rustic sling. And it's got a couple of little icons on there as far as, if I play a card with this symbol on it, I add 1 to the agility of the test. That's another when attacking. Usually the weapons have a when attacking effect.
Yeah, and these symbols on here, I don't want to spoil anything, but it's not like you're just going through page after page, killing everything on the page and moving on. There are pages that are maybe more about sneaking past people or sneaking around or overcoming obstacles or chase scenes. There's all sorts of different scenarios, and sometimes those symbols kind of come into play. Like Gribbert has a starting weapon that has a little mask symbol. And you can imagine that relates to being sneaky.
Yeah, when you get to page 2, you're at the crossing of the Silver Lane. It spans these 2 pages. The the map, and it's got two different exits. So like, which way are we wanting to go? And it has two different entry points too, depending on choices you've made in the app, you know, that I was showing you earlier. It has some of these stories lead to whole little side quests within the page. There's, you know, there's a river here with its own rules. There's just a little special rules section that tells you what to do. Here you can see a little exclamation point section, and there's no exclamation on the board, but one of these spaces will generate it. And that ties into the little side quest I was referencing. So there's choices even you know, played out into like, where are we going to go on this page? On this page, you're also, it starts off as a stealth page. So, you know, you're trying to hide from these unsavory men that are coming after the baby on behalf of their boss. So, so there's pages like that. This page here, you're trying to bust your way into this old mill for you know, warmth and whatnot. You get to pages like this page takes place in the city. There's some interesting things that happen. This page, you're doing these puzzles to unlock this this mystery here. There are pages where there's a exploding volcano, and you're spinning the page trying to get uphill and avoid the
Colby, don't
raining
give them
lava.
too much juice before nap time. These kids got to pre-order the game to learn all this stuff.
Well, I'm just trying to back up what you said. It's not a like, go to the page, clear the enemies, go to the page, clear the enemies. Right. The idea that this is happening on a book means that we can do all kinds of things that are unique to the page and just give you the rule sets, and more often just like the icon reference. Just, oh, when you get to this icon, read this section. You don't have to read the whole page. You just read the starting setup and the special rules here.
Any other questions?
Worldwide shipping fiasco.
Worldwide
January.
shipping fiasco. Well, our game has already been
Fiasco's
made.
a different game.
Yeah, this isn't Fiasco, but our game's already been made, right? It's on the way.
The game has been manufactured, correct?
And so this isn't like a Kickstarter situation. You're gonna get your game. It's coming. And
this is the final game. You're seeing the game off of the press right
we
here.
should be able to ship in January, right?
So yeah, well, shipping is a whole thing in the world right now. If you haven't been paying attention, if you're not into board games enough, or electronics or toys or a whole sector of things, anything made in the Shenzhen area of China, basically, shipping is really clogged up. So it's hard to say like, oh yeah, we'll ship these in January. But what we're doing is right now, they're being picked up from the factory. They're being put on boats. One boat is coming here to the U.S. For retail copies of this, as well as to fill our pre-orders. And one boat is going to the EU to a fulfillment center there to fill all of our European, UK orders.
Does that mean we can finally do free shipping in parts of Europe?
Which means if you pre-order, you get free shipping in the US and you get free shipping in Europe, depending on your area. It's not 100% of Europe. If you go to preorder.familiartalesgame.com, you can see what all places have free shipping, but it's quite a few.
Yeah, it's a good list.
No more questions. It looks like.
So yeah, boats have been taking, like normally they take about a month to get to their destination. They've been taking, we've been seeing almost 2 months usually before it gets here. So we're hoping to ship in January because that is, 2 months away from now.
Now, you were saying that if we hit 1 million pre-orders, we'll be able to buy our own boat.
Yeah, if we hit 1 million pre-orders, we'll buy our own shipping vessel and solve this problem.
We'll solve it ourselves, and we'll only work in board games. All the board game problems will be solved. Any other questions from the audience? You can ask me about myself and my feelings.
Which familiar are you most like?
Ooh, which familiar are we most like?
From our inquisitive audience,
Asked Joe, the cameraman / app.
he is 25% of our audience, so let's
Well,
find out.
Blaze is my favorite character, for sure. But I'm probably.
You wish you were more like
I wish
Blaze?
I was more like Blaze, but I'm probably somewhere between a Flicker and a Gribbert.
Yeah, so Gribbert was a human. He's more of a roguish character, and he kind of
He's a little snarky sometimes.
yeah he got caught up with he got on the wrong side of a witch's spell and got turned into a frog.
And Colby is cold and dead, and so he's more
That's
of a chalk.
Chalk is a stone golem, and Chalk doesn't actually he's like a Groot type of, like, he doesn't say stuff. He just says Groot, Vin Diesel style Groot.
Colby is blacking out right now.
At me, Marvel.
Vin Diesel. He's voiced by Chris Sabat. He's very charismatic, but it's mostly just kind of things, gravelly. But he's got tweets.
Tweets is this little bird friend on his shoulder, and Tweets speaks for Chalk. Tweets has got some kind of like psychic link with Chalk.
Voiced by Paula Deming from Things May Get Dicey.
Yeah, if you're into board games and follow Board Game Media, you probably know who Paula Deming is.
She's on Watch It Play's channel.
She's on Watch It Played's channel now. You all know Watch It Played?
That's Rodney Smith. He says curds instead of cards.
He's not doing a video for this, so don't go to his channel.
Yeah, or go to his channel and complain at him for not doing a
Say,
video.
where's Familiar Tales?
So I have a question.
Nikki has a question.
Well, from Dustin.
From
So the end game is based around deck building along with the adventure. The kid grows up based on our decisions. How many endings are there?
Well, there's those decisions like branch you off throughout the story, and then there's really like 4 endings. There's 2 different ending pages that are pretty drastically different, and then depending on how you do on those pages, there's 2 endings per page. So there's four endings.
Colby's incorrect. There's infinite endings.
There's infinite
because
endings.
It depends what cards you had. I
Well,
ended the game
there's
with this deck of cards.
That's a very generous way to define endings.
I ended this game when I was hungry.
Yeah, I mean, on the quantum level, we're splitting protons and neutrons all the time, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Breaking off multiple infinite universes.
Exactly.
String theory.
Jim is watching. He wants to know, does Tim Schafer's character fight like a cow? I don't know if that's an image.
Okay, so Joe gets this joke. Our narrator, Jim Ferranda, is in the chat. You'll know Jim from many things, including the dub of the anime series that I directed. If my pop idol makes it to the Budokan, I will die. Or as Claptrap in Borderlands 3.
I think that might be a more well-known reference.
Equally well-known properties. And Jim asked if Tim Schafer, who's also in the game, fights like a cow. Tim Schafer is the founder and I believe CEO or head of Double Fine Games, famous game designer, the mind behind, what is it? Monkey Island, Psycho. Wait, is he Psychonauts?
He's
Yeah,
Psychonauts.
Psychonauts.
Grim Fandango.
Grim Fandango was the one I was gonna pull.
That
Full
Jack Black
Throttle,
little
right?
game.
Brutal Legend. A lot of great stuff. Really charming guy. Very kind. Very nice to be in our game. And he does not fight like a cow in this game, to answer your question directly. That doesn't happen. So if you need that in order to pre-order this
Not the game for you.
this is not for you. And I apologize, but you're just going to have to go elsewhere to find it. All right. Well, the game is available for pre-order right now. If you pre-order, you get this beautiful Foragers Market. As we said earlier, the game has been manufactured, and we're going to get it to you as quick as we can. Free shipping in most of Europe and in the United States, continental United States.
I think it's just the whole United States.
Oh, even Hawaii.
Even if you're in Hawaii,
Even in Alaska.
even in Alaska.
This guy's.
We'll strap it to a moose, slap it on the ass, and send it your way.
So you should get this game. It's it's gonna make your life better. And if one of you pre-orders, I'll get to keep my job. So no pressure. Preview videos are coming. We're sending out. We got Colby had from the manufacturer. He had a speedboat and a jet ski handoff, all enough packages to do some previews that are on.
Yeah,
the
we've got some early copies here, like this one, that we'll send out to some reviewers, and so we'll get some reviews up here soon.
How to play is coming.
We're editing a how to play right now.
We already shot a how to play. Colby didn't like it, so we had to redo it.
That's why it wasn't there at launch.
How to play. So be sure to tell Colby that the second one is good, so we don't have to make a third one.
Yeah, and then we'll have pre-order articles, interviews with the designer.
Gonna try to get some of the voice actors from the game on the podcast, and we'll get Jerry, the designer, podcast.
We are all
Jerry.
about this game right now. This is kind of the evolution of like 5 different games that Jerry has designed over the years, and each one we just, we're getting feedback. We're learning more as game designers. Game design as a craft is evolving, and I think that we brought in the story elements, the voice acting that we pioneered with Forgotten Waters. I think this is really something special. Nothing like you've seen in a board game before.
Nothing.
Well, there are some things you've probably seen in a board game before.
There's nothing. This 12-sided dice, you've never seen anything like that.
That's the first time this shape has ever been fashioned.
So thank you all for watching this. We hope that you got your questions answered and you're more informed about how awesome this game is. It's a pretty straightforward game, enjoyable, but with a lot of fun choices and exciting things that are unveiled as you play through. Pre-order now. Now!
Do it.